cannot believe we're at the end of the decade. But hey, a new decade deserves a new fresh start. 2019 remodeled old games from the 90s into today's generation. Kojima and his team's pizza delivery game has been delivered onto the PlayStation, and the third chapter in the Shenmue series has finally been released. I admit I haven't played too many new games this year, but what I played in 2019, I had a lot of fun. Honourable mentions I would like to give are Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, which is one of my favourite RPGs of all time. But this is of course an HD port of a game I've played and completed numerous times before on the Xbox 360. If you haven't played Vesperia yet, definitely get the Definitive Edition. And the other game goes to the pizza delivery simulation I mentioned earlier, Death Stranding, which I'm still in the middle of playing, but so far I'm digging the concept, the gorgeous environment, and the way online has been implemented into the game. But some of the missions slow down the pace of the game a lot. Now here are the rest of the titles I played for the first time in 2019. This year hasn't been too kind to Game Freak and everyone who had to witness untitled brats harassing the developers about Sword and Shield. It was very tiresome. Still, I had my optimism over its release, especially since it's student yet so. This was the first mainline Pokemon game on a home console. Plus the location this time around was set in my home country. I got this game around Christmas and played it with a nice glass of rum, and I had a decent experience, but yet a bit disappointed. I love the character customization, and I adored the Pokemon designs this time around, with my first time having a fire type as my starter. My Gaia team were Cinderace, Dualwool, Bolton, Rhydon, Pangoro, and Golduck, and were all named after British fictional characters. The way gym battles were handled in this generation was pretty cool, as they played a central role within the region, being treated like the World Cup. It's a small touch, but during the climax of the gym battles, the music changes as you hear the audience chanting, making it feel lively. The music is probably one of the strongest in the series too, with composers Minato Adachi, Go Ichinos, and Undertale creator Toby Fox providing the soundtrack, with my favourites being the gym battle music, the final fight, and the battle frontier. The story and characters are not the series' main focus, but I found the so-called villain of the game to be very weak, thrown in a weird darn message in the last moment, as if the game realised, oh shit Jerry, we forgot to add a bad guy. One of your rival's characters' art has an unsatisfying end that I was left with disappointment. The game has some rust moments too, as there were times you just went from one gym leader and then immediately went to another with no substance in between. As a whole, Sword and Shield isn't a bad game, as I did have moments when I enjoyed my time, and from what I heard, it's very competitive friendly, but it's one of the weaker generations. Now Nintendo Switch has been my go-to console to play a lot of smaller indie titles, especially in the last couple of years. Recently, I've been trying to get into the visual novel and point-and-click adventure scene, and one of these titles I played was a game called 2064 Read Only Memories, which was originally released for the PC in 2015 and was ported to many consoles a few years later with some new bells and whistles. Starting out as a Kickstarter project created by Mid-Boss, Read Only Memories was inspired by games like Hideo Kojima's Snatcher, set in Neo San Francisco around the Christmas holidays, where robots and cybernetic enhancements are everywhere. You play as a genius who has his or her apartment broken in by a robot named Turin, who has asked for your assistance in finding its creator and your friend Hayden Webber. Like most games in its genre, the gameplay is very limited, as you'll be mostly reading dialogue and finding items to progress through the story. There are a few parts that change up the formula, but those are rare and far between while being dull to play. The main appeal is its story, characters, and its theme of identity. Like most science fiction stories, its strongest asset is tackling political and identity subjects while using fictional groups to get its message across, as read-only memories uses its message as its forefront. But unlike other pieces of work, it is not subtle about it, especially with the conflict between hybrids and the human revolution. There are many great performances, such as Melissa Hutchinson's, who is given her or playing as a curious robot. But I did find it unusual how they had Jim Sterling to play as someone who is hostile to a certain group of people. As far as I know, he isn't a voice actor, but he does resonate a lot of his anger in his videos, so it seems weird how his performance doesn't match the character who I thought he would be perfect for. I think if you like visual novels, especially the science fiction ones, give Read-Only Memories a glance. Around of September 2018, I was watching a video series towards Steam Summer by Comicfoil, where he played a session of 30 games in the Steam library, and one game caught my eye, which was a little visual novel titled Valhalla. It looked interesting with its teen pixel art and fascinating concept. Then I heard about last year it was getting ported for the Switch around the summer, and with the cheap price, I decided to download it. And boy, I must say, thank you, Comic. About 90% of the time, video games make you take the role of a character who engages in physical conflict, often titled as the hero of the game. But in Valhalla, you are just a normal citizen, just trying to get by life while working in a bar to serve drinks to customers, listening to their stories or the issues they're having at the moment. After all, booze and people make the best therapy. There isn't much gameplay interaction besides collecting orders, mixing drinks, and some small stuff later on, but for the most part, this is a story and character focused game where you'll be mostly reading, so if you don't like these kinds of games, then Valhalla is not for you. However, the studio Suitable Games knows this, and boy do they strive on making each character memorable, each with their own desires, conflicts, how they react to other characters, and what kind of drink they like. When I was playing through this, I was immersed into the conversations. It was so relaxing with a sandwich and a cup of coffee on the side. There is a lot of diversity of casts, ranging from a female hacker with family and relationship issues, a mercenary / assassin who isn't depicted as evil but a normal human, an android sex worker who takes pride and enjoys her job, which you don't see often in the media, and Jill is perhaps one of the best LGBTQ representations in any current media, and isn't used to get attention from clickbait articles, as her sexual identity isn't the main focus of a character or the story, but the game doesn't hide her sexuality either. The composer, Michael Kelly, did an excellent job with the music, with coming mostly the synthwave genre that matches the futuristic and chill tone of the game. I guess you can consider it dialect music too, as before Jill's shift, you can select which songs you want by turning on the jukebox in the bar. It might be in my favourite video game soundtracks of all time. It is on practically most current generation consoles, minus the Xbox One, and it's definitely worth your time if you like visual novels or if you like good stories and characters. I'm a huge fan of the Fire Emblem series ever since I played Blazing Sword back in 2003, but then Fate's Conquest kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. Then Echo Shadows of Valentia came out a year later, and it was a step in the right direction, with some of the most interesting characters ever in the series, and my favourite soundtrack in the entire lineup. Nintendo then unveiled Three Houses, which brought back the Avatar character and was set in a store. Like most fans of the series around that time, I was skeptical, since I felt we were going to get another Fates. But nonetheless, I was optimistic, and thankfully that optimism didn't go away, as when E3 2019 came around and I saw the Nintendo Treehouse demo the game, I was excited. I had to wait a few months after its launch, but nonetheless, after playing the Golden Deer and Blue Lion's route, I was hooked. P.S. Golden Deer all the way, hashtag Cloud is best boy. After finishing the Black Eagles route, I'm planning to do a full review of the game. But in the meantime, here is a summary of my current thoughts. Three Houses is split into two sections. Firstly, you have your turn-based strategy combat that still strides 30 years strong, with some tweaks and new tools at your disposal, like the Gauntlet weapons, Gambit command, and a ton of classes to customize. Then you have the Academy, which are the preparation sections before the next mission, in which you can teach your students the art of war, gather support conversations, gardening, cook, and most of all, fishing. This is perhaps my favourite support system in any Fire Emblem title, as it's easy to unlock them and all the support dialogue is fully voiced. In fact, your echoes, all the cutscenes are fully voiced, with only the main protagonist silent. This game is incredibly young, as so far I've got about 100 hours of total playtime, and I only completed 2 of the 3 houses, and with many ways of customization, such as recruiting students from other houses to changing classes, this has some of the best replayability in any game, a major step up from Fates. I'm saving the best for last, and this is possibly one of the best action titles of all time. After a 10-year hiatus, not including the questionable reboot, Devil May Cry 5 is finally back. Back in E3 2018, at the Microsoft press conference, Hideki Itsuno proudly unveiled the 5th installment, and with the Nero and Dante we knew and love. I rewatched that trailer and listened to Devil Trigger constantly until the game came out after my birthday. I had to buy this and Vesperia. I like Nero in Devil May Cry 4, but his design was similar to Dante, except younger. But in Devil May Cry 5, they gave him a new look with a cool blue jacket and a haircut. Plus the devs gave him a chance to shine again with more development, and I'm excited to see more Nero taking the role of the title character in future installments. You are able to control 3 characters, Nero, Dante, and a new character, V. Dante feels like he did in the previous 2 titles, able to switch out fighting styles on the fly with the addition of new tools, with one of the craziest and coolest weapons I've seen, a chainsaw dual-wielder motorbike. Nero is equipped with his red queen and gun, but unlike Devil May Cry 4, he doesn't have his Devil Bringer due to story reasons. Instead, he has a robotic arm and can set multiple arms that each have their own unique property. And then you have V. He plays way differently compared to the rest of the playable cast. It took me a while to get comfortable to play as him, as he uses his demonic partners that were in the first Devil May Cry game to do the fighting for him. But once I got the hang of it, V felt fun to control. The combat is perhaps one of the best in any game, and it feels so good that we're seeing more developers tackle this genre again besides Platinum Games. It seems Hideki Itsuno and the rest of the team adore the world of Devil May Cry, as not only is the music expanding, the gameplay is engaging, and the characters still have those charming and entertaining personalities, but they also reference many characters and moments from the anime, mangas, and novels too, Throughout my first time playing through Devil May Cry 5, I just had the biggest smile on my face. A lot of people online have already mentioned this numerous times, but it feels like Capcom is back, baby. Now we're in 2020, there are many new exciting titles coming out soon, like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk 2077, and Tales of Arise. Plus there are many new titles waiting to be announced too. Who knows what this new decade will bring?